When I always say that Swami made this a higher medical center, everybody emphasizes the treatment. Yes, we give best treatment, but we also give best training.
Yes.
They were so generous that they allotted 25 crores for us to buy equipment this year alone, in a calendar year. And we were able to spend almost 22.5 crores. So you can see how far it goes. We have relocated the library. We have done the lab, which is wonderful. Next is we are updating the blood bank so that it is up to standards. Then we need to do our laundry and CSSD. So that is the way in which it is going to go. We have one of the most advanced information technology for any hospital, And we are rated level 6 when only 7 levels are there.
Yes.
So
one of the best in India.
Yeah, absolutely. No, one of the best in Southeast Asia, not India. Southeast Asia. But right now, I am convinced, seriously convinced, I'm doing this job only with him overlooking every minute. And no, I have no second thoughts about it. Whether I'm convinced about Swami's, whatever you want to call it, divinity, guru stage or a guide stage, before Mahasamadhi, I may have had questions about it, but now this last year and 2 months, I'm doing what I'm doing, absolutely convinced. Without him, I cannot do this job.
Saram, Dr. Voleti Choudhary. The hospital completes 22 years, November 22nd, 2013, and you have had the chance to be the director of this wonderful institution set up by Bhagawan now for more than a year and 2 months. What are your reflections on the different developments that this hospital has made in the last 2-3 years, especially after April 2011?
Sairam to all of you. Yes, September 29th, I took a long deep breath. It was the end of 1 year. And I wanted to thank all the employees in the hospital, and remembering Swami's word, we did Narayan Seva for all the employees, because that's one way I could personally, because I did get a tremendous amount of cooperation from almost everybody. That's the only way we could do this year what we have done. So, and that was well received. And so I could start the second year with all their, blessings. When Swami started this 22 years ago, yes, it was up to date. It was definitely state of the art. But a lot of improvements have come by over the years, and we were catching up with all of them. But some of the areas we could not, because they needed structural as well as mechanical interventions. So we took projects, and with Bhagawan's grace, I could feel it every day, every minute almost. We achieved the impossible. Why is it impossible? As first of all, we relocated a whole library, and we even got a state-of-the-art academics room there, so they can have connectivity to. I'll tell you one simple example. The anesthesia residents run a daily conference there, and at the same time they could interact with people all over the world as a guest lecturer. Same thing happens with urology. We have Dr. Ram Gopal, probably one of the robotic surgeons that are our product, but works in US now. So they can interact with him on Skype connection, discuss cases, discuss plans of treatment. And so like that, this became, because when I always say that Swami made this a higher medical center, everybody emphasizes the treatment. Yes, we give best treatment, but we also give best training.
Yes.
We have 37 or 38 DNB candidates here.
It's postdoctoral, post-graduation.
Postdoctoral, some of them are post-MD.
Post-MD.
Anesthesia, 2 of them we get post-MD anesthesia. And I'm talking about anesthesia, I'll tell you, this never happened before. All 3 candidates not only passed theory, passed practicals also. So we got 100% result in anesthesia.
Wow.
So, you see, what I'm telling is this spectrum of what Swami envisioned is not just patient treatment, which is well received, but we also do a very good training. And why is this good training important is these people may not stick to us, but wherever they go, where are you trained? Trained in Sathya Sai hospital.
And they become ambassadors of
Absolutely,
this hospital.
absolutely. So that way, library was very important to us, because also when the DNB inspection comes, they want to make sure that we have the facilities, because now everything is virtual.
Yes.
So we need to have an updated library. Then our mother issue was basically lab. See, when we started this hospital, or when Swami started this hospital, we were doing 40, 50 tests in the morning. Now we do 400, 500 tests on any given morning. Obviously, that facility isn't going to hold. So, and with Swami's inspiration, where we dislocated the library, there was just enough 7,000 square feet. We have the brand new library, and this library is set to the standards of NABL, which is the lab part of NABH, National Accreditation Board. So it's absolutely set to their standards.
Wow.
So we covered both. See, both making it up to date, making it also compatible to any guidelines. Officially, people want to come and see it.
Wow.
So that is 7,000 square foot. And we have an automated ELISA that's supposed to be the first in this area that does 400 tests automatically.
Automatic.
Very expensive, but we got it. Analyzer. Yes. Everybody wonders, why did you get this expensive equipment? Because it's automatic and it analyzes 400 samples.
And given the volumes of this hospital, it's perhaps necessary.
Definitely. Now, if you see the way the whole lab is created, there is no waiting line, there is no people standing in the corridor, there is a dedicated waiting room for the lab, dedicated blood drawing area.
Yes.
And then this flow is very smooth. They're registered, and then the sample goes to the various departments, and they're all next to each other, all three of them. So it's just the flow. That's what we're looking at, the flow. There's no interrupt. Because once the flow is good, the result is going to be good. There's no loss of time. There's no repetitive movements.
Yes. So you're bettering the whole process there, the system process there.
Yes, exactly. That's the idea. See, because once you interrupt, once you have no guidelines, take just a sample, blood sample, because first of all, it's very important in the sense the right name is on it. It's all computerized. That's the other thing. I mentioned, I think last time, we have one of the most advanced information technology for any hospital, and we are rated level 6 when only 7 levels are there.
Yes. So one of the best in India.
Yeah, absolutely. No, one of the best in Southeast Asia, not India. Southeast Asia. We are in the top 1/10 of 1% as far as information technology is concerned. And the goal is what we call as 360-degree coverage. That means the physician gets all 360-degree view of the patient from all angles.
Wow. That's fantastic. And all of these directly or indirectly goes towards patient care. And doing the library, you set up a very good library. It boosts the academic environment in the hospital, and everything goes towards patient care. Much better patient care.
The end point is still a loving care that's delivered to the patient with the least expense.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, not holding any limits. Which brings us to our latest, joy in my another feather in this cap around here is the MRI we got. Mm-hmm. Now they tell me it's 32 channel and one of a kind in Southeast Asia, Southern India again. And you should see that. We had, subsequent to the installation, we thought we will cap it off having a CME.
Okay, a conference.
Yeah. Continuing medical education. See, there's another part of it. You see, medicine is progressive. I was telling somebody the other day, I was reading somewhere, 30% of medicine we practice today will become obsolete.
Yes.
In 5-10 years. or the corollary what they are saying is 70% of medicine we practice today, we learnt in the last 15-20 years.
Okay.
See how progressive this whole thing is?
And when you look at in this light, the boost that the academic rigor has got in this hospital with this new library, etc., it really shows that the hospital in this way is in a very progressive mode.
Oh, definitely. You have to keep up. See, you cannot train a 5-year-old or 10-year-old information. So when you train, because this is the cutting edge technology you need for them to train. And Swami has made, that brings us again, I don't want to embarrass the trust, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but they were so generous that they allotted 25 crores for us to buy equipment this year alone, in a calendar year. And we were able to spend almost 22.5 crores. So you can see how far it goes. And whatever is spent on top notch, because we always get 3 coats. We always make sure we get the best for the money we put in with a track record. And I must tell you also, these companies, they go all overboard just to help, because they now have clue. Everybody outside there, they may express, may not express, but they know the quality of work done here is very good, though it is free. And that's one thing we want to get an official stamp by getting the NABH, which we should get in the next 9 to 12 months. And we're already laying roads on it, and we have a whole team of people just for NABH alone. See, idea here is you deliver quality of medical care on a standardized basis. That's what it is, on a reproducible basis. Where you all know in business, there is this, what is that? Quality management.
Yeah, total quality
and TQM is there.
Yeah.
Swami is the best proponent for TQM. Yes. Like that, we got what's called a CQI here. Okay. Continuing quality improvement. Okay. So we first say, yes, we do 100 bypasses here, say in 3 months. Our mortality is 1.3% on an average overall last year. So, and we are within that. You see? And then medication error. How many times patient got a wrong medication? We know. See, one thing this is very interesting here is you don't want to be 99.9% right. No. Statistics show in this country, if you are 99.9% right, there will be at least 100,000 wrong operations done.
Correct.
At least 50,000 babies dropped on the floor.
Yes. Yeah, because you're dealing with people's lives.
So the answer here is how much percentage you want to be is 100%.
Yes.
Like Swami always said, he always travels first class. Whatever he provides is first class. So that is what we do. You want to be 100% right, not 99.999 even, 100% right. That nobody has to tell us. We know ourselves. This is what we do. So that is where you want to take the right kidney on every patient, not 99.9 times. No, 100 times you want to take it. That's what standardization is.
Yes. Wonderful. The hospital has been doing a lot of good work, but now you have a body appointed by the government giving you that certificate of approval and certification that you do confirm. Just like the university, they have the NAC committing, giving a grade, A++ grade to the university. That sort of, for the world outside, it makes sense.
Yes. Because, I always said this. People always assumed cheap mustn't be good. Seriously, that's what they assume. How could you give cheap work? How could you get free work? It must be cheap. It's not so. When they come, I saw this guy, he came as an inspector, all the programs. You see, NABH is an official one. Same way, every program we run for anesthesia, for orthopedics, for cardiology, we have outside people come inspect the program. So on Tuesday, I was in Whitefield when this surgeon came from Calcutta, and he was really impressed. He said, I haven't seen this cohesive, program. Because there also we do very productive quality cardiac surgery work.
Wonderful. So you said the trust has allocated this huge amount of money this year, and a bulk of it went to MRI?
No. 25 crores MRIs only, we bargained it, we saved 2 crores. It was actually, no, I shouldn't be telling these things. No, it's not, MRI is only, I would say 1/10 of it, or 1/8 of it.
So many things happen.
Oh yeah, the lab has all new equipment, I told you. MRI, we're getting a multi-slicer CT scanner that is coming, and the entire monitor system that we're getting from for the critical care areas is so interactive that the monitor can run actually what is going on. So it's an automated monitoring system. You can retrieve any information you want. You can follow tracking. You can tell what happened in the last 20 minutes, what happened in the last 2 days. Alarms can be set for any kind of emergency that you want it. So it's all, this is what, we're trying to, and then of course, like I told you, the next, so we have relocated the library, we have done the lab, which is wonderful. Next is we're updating the blood bank so that it is up to standards. Then we need to do our laundry and CSSD. So that is the way in which it is going to go.
Wow. Now, many times when we share things about the hospital, and even now when people are listening to you, when they are seeing you, many times, people who listen to this, they want to know, what can I do for the hospital? Is there something that I can be part of this mission of reaching out and helping the poor, which very few hospitals in this world are doing? So what would you like to say to them?
Oh, it's most important. Really, I'll tell you why. Because first of all, you should believe. You really should believe. Even after April 24th, 11, actually our work has gone up.
Is it?
Yeah, we have statistics that show. See, again, work output is both qualitative and quantitative. I'll give you one simplest example. We were looking at statistics at 2008 and early part of 2013 in cardiology. See, in the cath lab, we do two kinds of work. One is a regular diagnostics. It's called, you put a catheter, find out what's wrong and send him. The second is called intervention. Intervention means either you're opening an artery, putting a stent, or putting 3 stents, putting a pacemaker, or dilating a tight valve. These are all called interventions. The procedures look like about the same. We were doing about 220, 230 per month in 2008. We're still doing same about 220, 20. But when you looked at the mixture, see, in 2008, it was almost 60-70% were just what we call diagnostics. Only 30-35% were intervention. Now when we look at the list, it's almost opposite. 45-50% is interventions and 50% is diagnostics. And some months the interventions go even up to 60%. Diagnostics are only 30%. It gives you two wonderful informations here. One is we are using echocardiography non-invasively so good that we don't need an invasive procedure to diagnose mostly all the congenital heart disease and valvular heart disease. Then the interventions are very involving. That's where any program comes out smelling good is in interventions. When you open a blocked artery, when you open a tight valve, when you put a pacemaker in, these are the things that tells you that a lab is doing cutting edge kind of work. So you can say that, oh, you're doing still the same 220. You see, when you look from outside and say, in 2008 you did 220, interventions in a cath lab, and in 2013 you're still doing only 220, 230, it looks good on the page. But when you explain the shift, how the interventions are more now and the routine diagnostics are less.
Yes, there's much more to the story.
So that is how, but even number wise, same thing happening with urology. See, if we look at the procedures, we still do between 14-16 procedures on any given day, but the shift is so much. Like the other day I was looking there, they were doing a case with one kidney, they're removing a part of the kidney called partial nephrectomy, and then they're removing a stone in the remaining part of the kidney. See, this is what conservative, see, I'm not a urologist, but as a surgeon, I can appreciate that. So, this is what we do nowadays, conserve as much as you want to conserve. Because 5 years down the line, he may be left with only that 10% of one kidney, which still would relatively run a normal life. All we need is half of one kidney. I don't know, Swami gave us 2 kidneys. Why? As even my specialty, I know that you need half of one kidney. You can be a normal person. Half of one kidney functions properly. So conservative things. So now we do laparoscopic surgeries, and so you can see the shift not only in the quality, which is very, very important, but incorporate all these advances.
Yes, wonderful. So you would like the information about this hospital to be...
I want to interrupt with you. Sorry, sir, I didn't really answer your question, which is bad. No, what the listeners can do, yes, what the listeners can do a lot. They can do a lot. First, have the right information that yes, things are progressing, things are well, and things didn't destroyed, or naysayers like saying we went down under after April 24th, 11. No, we're still doing very well. That was my point. We're still doing very well, and anybody can do anything they want to help. It doesn't matter in any way. No, they want to say, listen, I want to contribute this to the hospital. I'll take care of 1 day's expenses of the hospital. Yes, that is fine. We're not asking anybody to go and beg. No, we have funds. There's not a question. But they can always reinforce. They can always because Swami in his foresight has put a big solid trust in the corpus that is there. But what is happening is 2 things are happening. One is the our recurring expense is going because salaries. Salaries have to be increased every year. They have no choice because the DA 6 pay commission. We are in par with all the big institutions. So we follow them. Whenever the DA goes, the DA goes. It's a substantial increase.
Inflation, you have to account for
so they figured out in 5 years, operational budget doubles.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's doubling. We can prove it, it's doubling. So that is where the buffer the trust needs. So how you say, look, yeah, I belong to a center. We're going to run the hospital for 5 days. Wonderful. They should do that. That's the most proactive way, they could do that. It's not that it is there. It's there, but make you feel or you have a center and we say, listen, we want to allocate this kind of funds to this number of patients. And they can identify. See, we can tell them, so these are your patients, this is done this month, these are your patients. But say, we do 100 open hearts in this hospital. You can say, the 30 bypasses were done gratis, this particular center from there. Or we have urology department. You say, yes, this many number of things were done, this is from. So that identification, we can make it for them, and it is real. It's real. It's not something they're giving into a vacuum and nobody knows. Because that's the problem with most of these donations. Even Red Cross, it can go on print. I will tell you, Red Cross still has infrastructure expenses almost, I would say 55-60 cents to every dollar. That is public secret. Every dollar. But here, no, nothing. Whatever they donate is going to go straight. What's the infrastructure? There's no infrastructure here.
Absolutely. So there are so many ways anyone can participate.
Anyone can participate.
Wonderful. Finally, personally, how has it been for you running this hospital? I mean, you had plenty of interactions with Bhagawan. You've been coming for more than a decade now. And after Bhagawan's passing, you had this chance of taking over as the director. Now you do not have the chance of physical proximity of Swami that you enjoyed in different capacity earlier. So how does it feel now sitting on this seat and ruminating on Swami and running this hospital?
I can only do it by example. The other day the trust member was introducing me to one other visiting surgeon, and I did say in one of the other interviews, somebody asked, what do you do? I said, I pray for Swami. No, I'll tell you, it's not ironic. May sound ironic, it's not ironic. I've been around with him quite a bit. He has been kind enough to give me more time than maybe I deserve sometimes. But right now, I am convinced, seriously convinced, I'm doing this job only with him overlooking every minute. And no, I have no second thoughts about it. Whether I'm convinced about Swami's, whatever you want to call it, divinity, guru stage or a guide stage, before Mahasamadhi, I may have had questions about it, but now this last year and 2 months, I'm doing what I'm doing, absolutely convinced. Without him, I cannot do this job. He's there at every step.
So you feel his presence?
Absolutely, I feel. As I say it, I feel. I have no I had a lot of questions before. This is very ironic, but I'm telling it because I may look like an idiot. It doesn't matter to me. But this may have been a little bit very oxymoronic in saying that I didn't believe him then. Now I believe him. That's true. That's coming from the depth of my heart. I did not believe him completely. When he was alive, yes, because he was so accessible to me. That's the Maya. That's the Yoga Maya. It was so accessible to me. I could talk to him. Whatever, I would talk to him. And now I see how my own life got changed. Because I had retired twice before. And I thought I would just come by and say hello to everybody and then go. And I'm here a year and 2 months now. And I see what's going on. Now, I am not responsible for this. Everybody comes and says, oh my goodness, you have a new lab. Yes, you have a new library. Yes, you have a brand new up-to-date state-of-the-art MRI. Yes. You're going to have a laundry? Yes. You're going to remodel the CSSD? Yes. You're going to get an NABH? Yes. And I can look at him and say, yes, yes, yes.
You have done it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one other thing. It's not a city. This is all done with labor from Puttaparthi. Labor from Puttaparthi. Every one of this is done from labor from Puttaparthi. It's not like Bangalore, where you can get anybody you want to get.
Absolutely.
It's mind-boggling. Just mind-boggling.
I think, yeah.
Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram.
You ended with that one word. It is mind-boggling.
No,
and it
continues
continues to be.
It is mind-boggling. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sir.
Not at all. Sai Ram.